Good evening and welcome back to the path. The path stands for pointing all towards heaven. And that's what our Bible study is intended to do, intended to teach us how to live a great life on earth and then spend forever in heaven with the Lord. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to be back with you tonight. This is session number 2 of the path. We have 13-week sessions a year, and we are in session number 2, which ends in 3 weeks. Please start the sharing. We each week have a goal of 100 shares. And so tonight already, we have begun to share. And we share because we want good information to reach other people as we are being blessed by it. So go on and get your shares started. If you have shared, simply type share in the chat so we will know that you have begun sharing. And thank you in advance. All right, well, we are about to get started. This, I can't believe it's week number 10 because it seems like we just got started, but this is Wealth Creation, a course about showing you how to do more with what you have so that you will ultimately have more. This course will be, and has been rather, taught by myself and a financial advisor. So by the end of this class, you will be able to assess how healthy your money habits are and learn ways to make your money work for you. We've also been participating in a fast, shopping fast, where we're only buying groceries and gas. Someone saw me out and they said, I thought we were on a fast. I said, the class is. My finances are in order. Amen. And so the fast is so that we can get you in the habit of spending less. You will walk away with a personalized budget to fit your current needs. Last week, we started on the budget. I pray that you did your homework and worked on your budget over this past week. And so let's get back into it tonight. This is week number 10. And tonight we're going to address budgeting again, but we're also going to address stewardship. Okay? Stewardship. So make sure you worked on your budget. How many of you had a chance to either make a budget? Let's start there. How many of you did not have a budget, but you made a budget? Type of 3. Let's see what we're working with. If you made a budget as a result of last week's class, type a 3 in the chat so we can see how many of you started your budget, which is so exciting. And it's exciting because it really works. All right, Annette Thaxton started her budget. Awesome. Beverly Penix wrote her budget. This is awesome. How many of you? All right. Marlo Johnson wrote her budget. Pamela Selden wrote her budget. And we want to say happy 50th birthday to Deaconess Clarissa, who just celebrated a 50th birthday. What a beautiful milestone. Pamela Selden, Monica Jordan, Louise Taylor. This is wonderful. Clarissa, Deaconess Clarissa, wonderful. All right, wonderful. Robin said she made adjustments. Waynette James said she did her budget. This is excellent. Now, how many of you had a budget, but you tweaked it? Type a 7. You had a budget already, but you revamped it, like Deaconess Karen says. Type a 7. I already had a budget, but I tweaked it. Type a 7. Now, if you still don't have a budget, I want you to meet me at the altar on Sunday. Amen. The whole goal of this class is to make sure you leave out with a budget that you can live from, that'll help you enjoy what you earn more. All right, Robin Bowers, Deaconess Karen, Marie Hare, they're coming up. Those 7s are coming up. All right. I'm not going to ask how many of you still don't have a budget, but I will encourage you, if you still do not have a budget, make sure you get one, okay? Make sure you make this class work for you. They're still coming up. Lynn Duval, Sharon Solomon, Teresa Stovall, Robin Ballard, Rosalind Cromwell Jones, Corey Pitts. This is good. This is good. Because listen, we're going to look tonight, talk about the budget some more. And I'm just going to show you some scenarios of what can be done when you take the time to budget. And when I say budget, don't always think of saving. It's also a plan for spending money. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Let's get on through here. Ecclesiastes 10:19 says, a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. That's Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 19. The very first step to building wealth is to spend less than you make. To spend less than you make. And please, again, don't forget to share this on your page, another page. If everyone in class would share it to their personal page, it would be awesome. All right. So let's do that. So 2 goals we have for this course: debt reduction and creating and building wealth. Until you and I concentrate on spending less, we can never expect to do more with our finances. Okay. So the first thing we all have to do is get a handle on our money. In other words, stop just spending it haphazardly, but make sure that we have a plan. That's why a budget is important, because it gives you a chance to look at what you're really working with and how you're doing with it. So let's talk about some stewardship principles here for a moment. A steward is one who manages another's property, finances, or other affairs. It's an Old English term for manager. And so a steward doesn't necessarily own what they have, but they take care of it for someone else. God blessed us. He loaned us a life. He loaned us breath, and we are stewards over the life and the breath that he has loaned to us. Okay. At funerals, there's not a hearse for material possessions. You don't get to take what you have here with you. And so while you are here, the Lord blesses us in many ways. Okay. And the thing about it is this: whatever the Lord blesses you with, it has to be stewarded. You have to manage it. You have to take care of it. So stewardship is the responsibility of managing some assets or affairs or property of someone else's. Okay, you are a steward over your own life. And so you do not belong to just yourself, and you do not live unto just yourself. You are a gift from God, and you're connected to other people. Somebody type, I am a steward over my own life. Okay. Someone else type, I must manage me. I must manage me. Okay. 2 things you need to understand about stewardship. God owns it all, everything, but he trusts you to manage it. God owns it all, but he trusts you to manage it. God owns it all, but he trusts us to manage it. So the life that you've been given, God owns it. He gave it to you, but you have to be managed. That's what real stewardship is in essence. You are a steward over your own life. How far you go or don't go, what you decide to do or not do, Whatever you accomplish, it's because of the choices you have made over your life. Okay, so let's talk about personal finance for a minute. Want you to understand what it means. When we talk about personal finance, we're talking about pretty much your relationship with money. Keep in mind that we are stewards over what the Lord has given us. So personal finance is the application of the principles of finance to the monetary decisions of an individual or family unit. It addresses the ways in which individuals or families obtain, budget, save, and spend monetary resources over time, taking into account various financial risks and future life events. Okay, so personal finance is about your relationship with money. Let's break this statement down a little bit and let's take a look at it. So it says it's the application. Application means the action of putting something into operation. The action of putting something into operation. It's using what you have learned about money in order to be a better steward over your financial affairs. Now, let me do this right quick. I need 100 of you to put some hand claps in the chat right here. Just stick with me. Put some hand claps in the chat. And the reason I'm asking you to put some hand claps in the chat is because you deserve to give yourself a hand for spending the time to learn principles of money management so that you can apply them. All of you are to be commended because you took the time to take on your Wednesday night to study. Okay? You are learning applications. Not applications. You are learning principles of how to manage your money. That makes you a great steward, not only of your money, but also of your time, because you are taking an hour of your time each week to learn how to better handle your finances. Excellent, excellent. All right. So now, once you learn these principles, you have to apply them to your life for real. Okay. You have to apply them to your life for real, meaning you must use what you are learning. Right now, we are at 50 shares, and that's 50%. So I need you all, I need 50 more of you to go on and share this great information that you're getting. Don't you want other people to get this information, particularly family members, your children, your children's children? Go on and share that with them. All right. So when we talk about personal finance, you must apply what you've learned so that it will actually benefit you. When we talk about the principles of finance, principles are those strategies and truths that you've been learning from Deacon Antonio and myself, and they will act as a guideline for investment and financing decisions. So what you are now learning will help you make better choices with your finances. It's good to pray, and we're supposed to. I pray all the time, and you have to. But after you pray, you've got to get up off of your knees and you've got to make good choices. You can't pray for a financial blessing and then go spend all your money, because the two acts don't agree. So you pray and then you make good financial choices. You pray and you show the Lord you're a good steward. You pray and you make sound operating investment, and financing decisions. You don't spend everything you make. We already know that, right? You don't spend everything you make. So monetary decisions are decisions you have to make about your money. These are choices you make about spending money, about saving money, about investing money. They're choices that you make. Okay? Your personal finances. You are responsible for your finances. Somebody type that and somebody say it with me. You are responsible for your finances. You are responsible. We cannot blame the devil if we choose to overspend. We cannot blame the devil if we choose to overspend. We cannot blame the economy if we haven't put away any savings. Okay? So the monetary decisions you make will directly impact your finances. Now, when we talk about personal finance, it addresses the ways in which individuals or families obtain, budget, save, and spend monetary resources over time, taking into account various financial risks and future life events. I wish I had started saving for my retirement at age 20. The sooner you begin to save for retirement, the more resources you will have to work with. But I want you to understand that it is not enough to make it if you're going to spend it all. Any amount of money you make is not going to be enough if you choose to spend it all. We must make it, save it, use it well, and prepare for the future. Okay? Make it, save it, use it well, and prepare for the future. Make it, save it, use it well, and prepare for the future. How many of you have already begun applying the principles that you're learning in class? Type a number 8. Type a number 8 if you have already begun applying what you have learned in class. Now, here's the thing. No matter how much you learn, it's what you apply that's going to make the difference in your finances. What you apply is going to make the difference in your finances, not what you've been exposed to, but what you have learned and implemented. If you still choose not to live from a budget, you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to really make great financial choices and be a good steward over what God has blessed you with. What I find is it's not that we don't make enough. Most people don't manage well what they make. You must manage your finances. I want to pause here before I go into part 2 of the teaching to remind everyone that we are commanded in scripture to tithe. 10% of everything that comes into our life belongs to the Lord. So I pray that you are a consistent tither. And what I want to challenge our class to do, like I love to do each week, is to give a $10 Cash App gift tonight. What would happen if all of us, now you can give more if you want, but what would happen if all of us gave a $10 Cash App gift tonight? It would be amazing. So go on, take a moment. And if you are a visitor, if you would like to tithe or donate to our ongoing efforts to build a community center in Woodlawn to service many needs, please feel free. Your gifts are tax deductible, and we thank you in advance. All right. So in God's system of finance, tithing is not optional. It is commanded. It's not a suggestion. It is a commandment. Man determines our salary, but God determines our income, what will come into our lives. And when we show the Lord that we are good stewards, he will bless us with more. God will bless our finances when we involve him, but we must be good stewards over our increase. And this is all review. Lastly, a budget is a necessity. Why is budgeting so important? It ensures that you don't spend money that you don't have. If you're not keeping track, you may not know when you've run out. It ensures that you are happy in retirement. It helps you to be prepared for emergencies. Right now, gas has gone up. Food has gone up. Everything is getting more expensive. If you have money put away, then you are able to pull from somewhere the extra you might need. You're not panicking. You're not falling apart right now. And you can tweak your budget to fit the rising cost of living. But budgeting will also help address bad spending habits, because when you start living from a budget, you can immediately see where you've overspent. You can immediately see what's not necessary. There are some expenses we have that are just not necessary. If you have a cable bill and you watch 3 channels, you don't need cable. That's money you're giving away. And so you've got to look at your bills. You got to look at everything that's leaving out of your pocket and decide what is no longer necessary. All right, let's look at some budget scenarios tonight because I want to show you. Let's see. Hold on one second. Okay, let's look at some scenarios. There's a term I want to share with you, and that term is task analysis. Task analysis. And what task analysis is, it is the breaking down of a larger task into smaller, doable steps. For instance, if I want to finish college, then I'm going to have to take 1 year at a time, the classes that I need step by step in order to finish. Okay, I cannot jump from kindergarten to 5th grade. I must go from kindergarten to 1st to 2nd to 3rd. Task analysis is when you have a major goal or just a goal, period, and you're trying to reach it. You break that goal into steps. Okay, you break that goal into steps so that you can meet the larger goal. So let's take a look at this. Lady A, this is just a made up person. Lady A has $800,000 left over each month after she meets all of her bills. Hold 1 second. Yep, I'm missing a couple slides. That's okay. So she has $800 left over each month after she meets all of her responsibilities and has paid herself. What could she possibly do with $800 left over each month? Now, keep in mind, let me stop this share for a second. I want to pull back up from last week's class, something that we did. Hold on one second. Last week, we took a look at some sample budgets. You remember that? Okay. I want to go back to a sample budget just for a second. Hang in there with me. Say, she's coming, she's coming. Okay. You would think I'm a pro by now with this, but I'll tell you what, these PowerPoints. Okay, if you remember last week, there we are. Last week, we looked at a sample budget. And I showed you what a sample budget would look like if a person was paid every week or every other week. Remember? Let's take a look at that again. So this is a person who has a bi-weekly paycheck. And remember, these numbers are fictitious. This isn't highly unlikely what a person would make now. I think cost of living, of course, and where everything is, you would make more. But take a look at this for a second. Remember, I showed you this is an A pay, this is a B pay. This person has, first of all, paid their tithes, then their mortgage, their utilities. Now that line here, the allowance is the amount they're giving themselves to live off of for 2 weeks. Food, okay? And then we added that all up and we said they make $2,000 every 2 weeks. This is their, these are their expenses, $1,434. They have $566 left over from pay A. From pay B, they have $716 left over. Now, when you think about that, what can you do with your leftover money? Because your leftover money is money that's present week after you've met all your expenses. You've paid your bills, you've taken care of all of your responsibilities, and now you have this extra money sitting there. Now remember, you've also done your savings, so everything is covered. So what can she do with an additional $800 left over? Well, watch this. This lady wants to go on a cruise. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. What is really going on tonight? Hold on a second. I have lost my cursor. Okay, there we go. Thank you for your patience tonight. Having a little bit of a challenge. There we are. So here you have 800, this person has $800 left over. She wants to go on a cruise that's next year. All right, are you paying attention? She wants to go on a cruise that's next year. The cruise will cost her a total of $2,600. Now, that takes care of her cabin, that takes care of her flight to get to the cruise, that takes care of everything. So with that $800 left over like that, she can save that for 4 months total and end up having exactly what she needs to go on the cruise. $800 times 4 months will give you $3,200. Now the cruise is only $2,600. And if you subtract that from the $3,200, she now also has an additional $600 spending money as well. Now, the beautiful thing about this is she has not gone into debt. She has not touched her savings, her tithes, any of her responsibilities. This is money that's left over after she has met her responsibilities. This is what we call task analysis. It's when you break a larger amount or goal down into smaller, doable steps. Now, the challenge here, can anyone guess what the challenge might be for someone that's trying to save up and go on a cruise? Drop some guesses in the chat. What do you think might be the challenge here? She has the money, it's there. What might be the challenge? No one's guessing? Okay, I'll go on and tell you. The challenge is going to be being disciplined enough not to touch the money. There we go. Pamela said it. Yep. Pamela said it, not to spend it on other things. Yes, there we go. Chandra said other things may come up in life, sticking to the plan. She may have an emergency. Oh, these are great answers. Amazon. True, not touching it. True, not to use it for something else. So here's the thing. Money doesn't have power over us. We have to have discipline. So in a case like this, what a person may have to do is, I know when I go on cruises on Celebrity, I love Celebrity Cruise Ship. That's my favorite. Well, my cruise for next February, it's already paid for because I go on there and every month, Pastor Linwood and I put a little bit more on the cruise. And guess what? Our cruise for February of 2023 is already paid for. So if you're a person that you know you're not going to hold on to that money, you need to go on the cruise website and go ahead and pay that cruise off once you've obtained the money. You don't have to wait to have the whole 2,600. Every time you have 8 or 5 or 7 or 2, go on and put it on the cruise. That way you won't be upset next year when you can't go on vacation because you did not take the time to break that thing down into smaller pieces. A lot of people think they can't afford, I can't afford to go on the trip. I can't afford it. You can afford it. You just don't. You have to make the time and have the discipline. Let's look at another scenario. Now, Lady B has $1,200 left over each month. Not 8, but she has $1,200 after she meets all of her responsibilities and has paid herself. What can she do with it? Well, she has a student loan and owes $5,000. If she saves the $1,200 for 4 months and just adds $200 more to it, the loan is now paid in full. Now, I'm showing you this because a lot of people will just pay a little bit here and there. Well, I'll just pay $50 on it. Well, it's never going away. It's never going away. If you don't task analyze that thing and say, okay, what can I do to get rid of this? Well, if I take that $1,200, even if she does $1,000 for 5 months, the debt is gone. We're talking about debt reduction here. Okay. But look at that. Instead of paying $50 for 50 years or $100 here and there, lump that thing. Lump that thing. Make the sacrifice to get that debt out of your life. Because why? Because after that debt is paid, now you have $1,200 additional dollars a month to work with and do some things with in your life. So people who don't manage their money sit back and complain and get upset because they can't ever do anything or go anywhere because they have no plan. A budget is a plan for saving and spending money. One of the things I enjoy doing, we actually have, let me see, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 cruises next year. We're going on a cruise with the Married People's Ministry next July. that doesn't have to be paid off until next May. So we've already, Pastor Linwood and I task analyzed it. We said if we pay this amount each month, it'll be paid off by May. So when next July comes, we're ready to go. Our anniversary cruise, which we take every February, it's already paid for. For my birthday next year, we're going on a Viking river cruise to Egypt. We're going to go to the pyramids. But guess what? That trip is already paid in full. A year early. A whole year early, which means whatever leftover money we have as we get closer to the trip, that now just becomes spending change. Because you all know on a cruise ship, it's a cashless society. You don't have to pay anything once you're on there. And so the hardworking people sometimes sit home and do nothing because they don't realize if you break that goal, that amount down and task analyze it and make it smaller steps, you can get it done. If you don't feel disciplined enough, you may have to give it to a relative you trust who will absolutely not spend it. All right. But whatever you have to do, live and enjoy life. Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it abundantly. You don't want to be sitting on your porch all the time. Every time you got a vacation, all you do is sit on the balcony. No, you deserve an enjoyable life. Now, here's one. I absolutely love this one. One of my coaching clients, it was her dream to go to Hawaii. And I taught her how to task analyze it, break it down. And she and her husband went. They had a ball. She said to me, we're planning our next trip now. So many people say, oh, I can't go Hawaii. Hawaii's a dream. I'll never get to go there. Well, why not? If you go on sites like Expedia.com, it is so doable. I was on there the other day looking at booking a trip to Hawaii. It is so doable. Expedia.com, Viator.com. These are all vacation sites. Booking.com that will help you if you're trying to go away, do something fun and out of the ordinary, not just sitting on the porch every summer. These are sites you can go to that will help you really find ways to enjoy yourself. So let's take a look. Let's say you wanted to go to Hawaii on vacation and you're thinking, oh, I can't do it. It's not possible. I can't. Yes, you can. Your passport, if it hasn't gone up, is roughly going to cost you about $110. And by the way, you ought to have a passport. You say, well, I haven't been anywhere yet. Get your passport and get ready. Don't limit yourself. You never know when God is going to bless you supernaturally. Someone wants to gift you a trip. Be prepared to receive the blessing. So your passport is going to run about $110. Let's say there are two of you and the flight is about $800. Okay. Your hotel is $1,200. Your excursions are the activities you do when you get there. Okay, you can get an $800 flight to Hawaii. It is doable. I have done it. Somebody type, I know she's right. So excursions would be the things you do when you get there. Like we just came back from Hilton Head, South Carolina, and one of my excursions was I parasailed. It was the joy of my whole trip. It was absolutely phenomenal. Food and souvenirs might run you about $100. Okay, so look at this trip. I want you to take a good look at these numbers. For one person to go, it's going to run about $3,200. For two people, it's only going to be $800 more because the additional flight is going to be $800. They're going to share the same room with you, share food, souvenir excursions. You might need an additional passport, which would only be another $110. But look how doable that number is, because $4,000, that's putting away $400 for 10 months. You can do it. Somebody type, I can do that. Somebody type, I can do that. You can do this. But the problem is when it comes to money, a lot of people are short-sighted. They only think about what's going to happen next month or next week. If you're going to live an abundant life and really manage your finances well, you've got to think years ahead, not next week. Now, Pastor Linwood and I, our vacations for next year are almost done, not fully, but all three of our cruises are planned. Our river cruise to Egypt in May, our anniversary cruise in February, and then next July, thanks to the Devoted Marriage Ministry, we're going to New Orleans and cruise from there. Those three are set. Now we can take our timeshare and plan a few more getaways for next year. Our vacations for this year are a done deal. They're planned and they're already paid for. So I'm not stressing 2 weeks before my vacation. Oh my God, it's coming up. No, it's paid for. Let's just go, right? And I'm talking about vacations, of course, because that's something I love to do. But whatever you love to do it and enjoy it. And thank you, Dignus Lisa. Yep, Hawaii's part of the USA. So I'm so used to thinking about passports. For Hawaii, you don't really even need a passport because it is part of the USA. But you want to get one to have one, because suppose all of a sudden there's an opportunity, your job says, we want to send you to Germany to do a talk about our company. You never know what's going to come up, so you want to be prepared. And I'll tell you a couple more things, and then I'm going to move on, that make travel smoother. Please get TSA pre-check. Please, 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 please get TSA pre-check, so you're not in the line forever. Because if you get to the airport late and you don't have TSA pre-check, it's going to be a problem. Now, if you want to take it a step further, also get clear. When I tell you with clear, you go even in front of TSA pre-check. You hear me? So I love clear. With clear, when we get to the airport, we get in front of the TSA pre-check line. They take you straight through to the front, done. And then let me let you in on another, and you may already know these things, but I just like sharing. Another thing that's great is what we call global entry. Now, global entry is phenomenal, because when you get to customs, you do not get in the customs line. You take your passport and you go straight to the kiosk. They scan your fingerprints, look at your picture, and you go straight through. Global entry is wonderful. You come back in the country, and I love it because I just love Jason Bourne kind of stuff. You know the movies, Jason Bourne. It put my fingerprints up there on that kiosk and everything and sliding through. It just feels like Jason Bourne. I just love it. So but clear is wonderful, because clear, it does cost, I can't remember what it is a year, maybe like $129, but you don't wait in line ever. You go right straight through in front of TSA pre-check. So these are little travel tips that will help you enjoy your trip a little better. All right, look at this. Now, this one was really fun for us. Suppose you wanted to go to Niagara Falls on vacation. Did you know that Niagara Falls has an American side and a Canadian side? So we decided that we would save money by staying on the American side, but going over to the Canadian side. So what we did, we flew, look at this, these are real numbers right here. We flew to Buffalo, New York. Hey, Joseph, Sally, I miss you. We flew to Buffalo, New York. We stayed at a hotel in Buffalo, New York. I can't remember whether it was the Hyatt or the Hilton. We stayed in Buffalo. We took our passports and we drove across the border into Canada. It took us maybe an hour and a half at the most. And we were on the Canadian side. We stayed there all day, had a ball, did different excursions. We took a ride behind the waterfalls, and we just had a great time, got our souvenirs, and drove back across the border to our Buffalo, New York hotel. Now, and we did that several days. As long as you have your passport, you can drive back and forth across the border. If we had stayed on the Canadian side, it would have cost us an arm and a leg. So we saved a bunch of money, okay, by staying on the American side, because the Niagara Falls on the American side is in Buffalo, New York. And get ready, you're going to be shocked when you see the American side as opposed to the Canadian side. It is a big difference. So make sure you see both sides. But look how much this vacation cost us. $1,347 for one person, $1,494 for two. You can't beat it. You see that? You can't beat it. So these are things you owe it to yourself. Let's look at some more other scenarios. Suppose you wanted to purchase a new bedroom set. Come on, you know that headboard is crooked. You know the slats are falling out underneath. You've had it for 50 years. So let's say this set costs $2,400. Now I'm getting ready to show you how to really make some money and really maximize your spending potential. Let's say the set is $2,400. So you want to save up. You might say, well, we'll save $800 for 3 months. That's the whole $2,400. Or we'll save $600 for 4 months. That's $2,400. Or we'll save $480 for 5 months. Either way, you have the whole amount. Now, when you have the whole amount, you're not going to spend cash. Don't spend cash. Somebody please type, don't spend cash. Please. Somebody type, don't spend cash. Please. All right. You want to make sure you have a credit card that pays you to shop. And I think I shared this with you guys. I did in the earlier class. Find a credit card that pays you to shop. That's how you maximize your money. So listen to me. This is what you'll do. You charge that set on American Express, knowing that you have the amount to pay it off, the full amount. You charge it on American Express. You pay the whole bill the next month. Then you go back on there and use your points. You can use them on Amazon. You end up with about $100 worth of points, which you can go on Amazon and now buy your whole new comforter set. Did you catch that? Don't spend cash when you can find a credit card that pays you to shop. So I love saving up for things, charging it on American Express, paying it right off, and then getting gift cards. Wonderful thing. Wonderful, wonderful. At the same time, you're establishing great credit because you are paying your bills as asked, right? And getting compensated at the same time. It is a wonderful situation. Don't use cash when you can use credit and get rewarded for using it. Now, I want to see, at this point, we've been doing the shopping fast. And I know for some of you, it's been a really difficult. I've heard from many of you, some of you may not be doing it at all, and many of you may be sticking to it very closely. Please put a 1 in the chat. Is that Linda Mann? Oh, I just love her. Hi, sweetie. Put a 1 in the chat if you're doing pretty well with the shopping fast. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm doing pretty well with the shopping fast. Elaine, you just shared some really good information there. Check out her comment. All righty. Now, what I'm going to be looking for in a couple weeks, I'm going to choose a few of you to share on the Zoom with me your experience with the shopping fast. All right. So Danielle and Dignas Lisa, if you see some names, just jot them down for me. We're going to make sure that you get an opportunity to share. I'm trying to grab some names too. So here's what I'd like you to do. If you would like to participate on the class where I'm going to have people on with me to talk and share about what this experience was like, I'm going to put this address in the chat and I need you to grab it. The address is in the incubator at gmail.com. Take a moment, and if you would like to share, please get that email address. Do you see it? In the incubator at gmail.com. I want to have about 6 or 7 of you on with me in a couple weeks so we can really talk about what that experience was like. I know for some of you, it may have been easier than others. So I'm looking for all different levels of difficulty. Those who did it well, those who struggled. We want to hear authentic stories of what it was like when you had to buy gas and groceries and only a few other items. So make sure you get that address. Again, it's in the incubator at gmail.com. Please shoot us an email and we will get you the Zoom link so that we can hear your story. We are very interested in hearing your story. And your story doesn't have to be perfect. I want people to be honest so we can authentically look like how it is to change your mindset regarding money. I love you too, Linda Mann. Your mindset regarding money and your mindset regarding your spending habits and how you had to change, okay? Are there any questions before we wrap up tonight? Any questions? Any comments? Any financial tips that anyone wants to share? I pray that tonight you understand task analysis. Task analysis is a skill that you can use not only in money and handling your money, but we only have 57 shares. That is really poor. We only have 57 shares, class. There are way more than 57 of you on here. Can we just go on and get the rest of those shares right now? We need 43 of you to share. Amen. This is great information. And by the way, always share the services and whatnot from your church. Some of you have STCF nothing on your page, all right? And I wanted to make sure I made you aware of that. You should be proud of your church and willing to share. There should be something on your page that shows what church you go to sometime, amen? That's like being in a relationship and the guy or the girl never talks about their mate. So please, Pam says, thank you for caring about our entire being. Absolutely. Thank you, Monica, for sharing 3 times. This is great information. And listen, people pay for some of this information that you guys have gotten in this class. I want you to understand that this is very valuable information. So how many shares are we at now, Danielle? I hope it's not still 57. So we're getting ready to close out in prayer. Are there any questions or tips or comments? If you joined us late, please take a 61. What is going on? Okay, well, let's move on. I enjoyed you this evening. I pray that you gained some new information. And Father, I thank you that you will continue to bless us as we strive to be better stewards of everything that you have given us. We praise you, we honor you, and we bless you. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. We'll see you on Sunday. Good night.